Hey lovely people, how are you all doing today? I hope you're good. So, it's the end of month 3. I'm just going to grab my cup of tea. The end of month 3, oh my goody goodness. Time's going so quickly. I feel like, oh, this is my new mug, by the way. I'm just seeing if it's in the screen. This is my new Smith's mug. Anyone a Smith's fan out there? Yeah, time's going so quickly. Honestly, I don't know where it's going. It feels like, in some ways, it feels like yesterday that I sat here with my last paycheck, if you remember that, and getting all kind of like, discombobulated about what's going to happen. And I was thinking about not just the last paycheck video, but month 1 and month 2. And if you remember, at the end of month 1, I was quite bouncy and optimistic, but I was complaining about my time management. I think mostly because I had not had time to myself for so long. It made me giddy to actually have time, and what do I do with it? But then if you remember, at the end of month 2, the end of June, things hadn't really gone to plan in June, and for anyone who's been following for a while, they'll know that for the last few years I've been caring for my great aunt on a sort of part-time basis. So I would do my nursing shifts, and then on one of my days off during the week I'd go and see to her. She doesn't live near me, so it's a bit of travel, go and see to her. But then about the middle of June, actually it was, the beginning of the second week of June, she had a bit of a tumble and things have escalated. So here I am at the end of month 3, and I'm almost fully time occupied with her, if that makes sense. So, looking back to, in a way, even before I made that video about stopping nursing, I knew that at some point in my life I wanted to take some time out. I didn't know whether it would be temporary or permanent, but I wanted to take some time out to see if I could live by the food I'm producing on the allotment and just live by my own wits. So doing a bit of sewing here and there, doing some vlogging, whatever it is, just make a few quid to pay the bills. But essentially, apart from paying my bills, I wouldn't be spending money. Live from the food from my plot. Yay! And that idea escalated and then suddenly became the thing that I actually have to do now, because I had to stop work because of my stupid knee joints that were letting me down. So physical health, but also in some ways mental health, in terms of just burnout. I was really burnt out. So it all seemed like a good plan. It seemed like I have had everything in place. And like I say, for the most of May and even into the beginning of June, it was trotting along okay. And so now, here I am at the end of my 3rd month without a wage. And it's been a rough few weeks. Actually so rough that I'm thinking, there's part of me that's thinking, and I don't want to do it, and I don't want to get too emotional. I probably will get emotional. Sorry in advance for that. But that this part of me thinks I might as well just jack this in right now. Because going on the last 6 weeks, it's not doable, it's not viable. I just don't have any time. I'm spending so much time on public transport, doing the commute. I'm spending hours on the phone with healthcare professionals, spending hours with her. My phone goes throughout the night. Every time her emergency button is pressed, I get a phone call too. Since I've been back from my holiday, my holiday, seems like a million years ago. It seems so long ago. It was so beautiful. And there we are. So for the first 6 days of July, I was away, and it's brilliant. But since then, I have barely had time for myself. So literally since coming back, so the first 6 days of July I was away. Since then I've had 2 half days in the garden and 2 evenings in the garden to water, and that's it. I have not produced a blog in ages in terms of written blog. I've not put pen to paper for weeks on end. I have not done any sewing for about 6 weeks. And even the vlogging, I've really struggled. So I think over July, I think I've put out 6 videos instead of, I would normally do 13 or 14. So if I can't find time to do any of these things because I'm looking after my great aunt, then I'm kind of thinking out loud with you guys, but do I just call it a day now and say it's not working, I can't do it, I don't have the time to do those things? Oh, I didn't want to get upset, I'm getting upset. I don't want to give up. I don't want to let a problem defeat me. I'm definitely a problem solver. But when I think about other problems that I've dealt with in the past, they're kind of like my problems and I deal with them. But the problem at the moment with this problem is it's not my problem, it's someone else's. And if she won't let me deal with it, then I kind of keep having to pick up the pieces of that problem. Oh God, it's so hard. I know from the video I did manage to put out about a week ago, loads of you, oh my goodness, so many of you have had similar issues. You gave great advice, some really, really good advice. I have had a long chat today with her to say we can't go on like this, both of us. But I don't know how long it will take me to get our situation resolved for the better for her, so that she's safe, etc. I don't know how long it's going to take. So whilst trying to deal with that, do I still put the pressure on myself to try and do the year that I promised I would do? I don't mean a promise to you guys, I mean a promise to myself. Although I kind of do feel like I promised you guys too. So do I try to carry on sorting that situation, but then saying, oh, I've got 2 hours free, I need to do a cooking video, or I need to do a gardening video, or I need to do some writing, or oh, I need to sew some bunting, I need to sell something. I do need to do those things in terms of, I need to do some sewing in terms of bringing some income in, because obviously all the time I'm going down there to visit, I'm spending money on train fares, and at the moment I'm spending about £200 a week on train fares, which, if you remember back to the beginning, I promised myself £200 a month for my bills, so I was going to live on £200 a month. You know, I'll work something out. I will do something. So outside of, I'm just so frustrated. I'm so frustrated because you can't plan for this kind of stuff. Of course you can't. And how you respond maketh the woman. And I feel like I'm not responding very well. I think I'm kind of almost allowing it to swamp me, and I keep trying to sort of give myself a bit of a slap around the chops to say, stop letting it swamp you, Vivi. But it's been swamping me. So I'm really stuck, really stuck. I'm trying to go forward all the time. I'm trying to keep doing the things I want to do, but that's not happening. I'm trying not to be resentful, and I'll be honest, there is some resentment coming in now. So let's try and look on the positives. So what are the positives? There are lots of plants in the garden which will look after themselves. So the squash, I don't need to look after them, they'll do it themselves. The beans, there were tons of beans that I would like to have picked young and green and eaten fresh. I've missed them, never mind, they'll go over. I'll leave them to carry on going over right into October, and I'll just save them as dried beans. I'm keeping my fingers tightly crossed that the tomatoes are okay, because I haven't been able to aspirin spray them against blight. And I'm just looking out the window now, we're having another shower. So having lots of showers, which blight loves. The carrots, the parsnips, they're in the ground. They look okay. So actually, on a positive note, all of that work through the spring, there's a lot of stuff that's going to come through late August, September, October, November, right through the winter. So there will be food. That's great. I've missed a few preserving things, but never mind. My friends have been picking and having food from my plot for themselves instead, and that's always a joy. I'm occasionally managing to squeeze in a little bit of a video here or there when I'm at home on the phone all day with carers and goodness knows what, and I've got a few more ideas for that, so that if I can't get to the garden and if I can't do a big cooking session in the kitchen, I can still at least maybe show I've got some more DIY ideas. So there are loads of positives still, loads of positives. Someone was saying to me the other day, yeah, but what if you'd been at work while all this was going on? Well, this was all going on when I was at work too, and it was on my days off. So I suppose the positive now is that at least it's not my days off from work, I'm alternating days. So that's really good too, that after I've had a day down there, I'm having a day at home where I can kind of flatline a bit or make phone calls. And the really, really positive is at least I am free and available to help her and get her sorted. So that's really, really good. And the train trip down there is really, really, really boring me a lot of the time. But I do go past some really beautiful gardens and allotments. And the orchards of Kent. The apple orchards, oh my goodness, today they really, really popped out to me. These gorgeous red globes glistening in the trees of the orchards as I whizzed down on the train. So there's loads of positives. There are really still lots of positives. I miss my friends at the moment. I miss my friends a lot because I just don't have time to physically see other people. I see people via social networking, thank goodness for the computer. It's not quite the same as having a physical hug. It's funny, today when I got down to the hospital, because my aunt's back in hospital now, having been discharged on Monday, I gave her a big hug, and she, in the shoulders, is 2 weeks, she can't hug me back. And it made my eyes prick, because I thought, I really want a hug, and I haven't had a hug for a long, long time. I'm not going to cry. So, going forward, I need desperately to make some time to see a couple of my nurse pals, because I really seriously need a proper physical hug. There is vegetable coming, and at some point, even if it's a midnight job with one of those, those lantern things you get on hats for camping, even if I have to go picking at midnight, I will pick my veg. I've got veg coming. I've got friends who I'm going to try and arrange to see. I will hopefully get her situation sorted out soonish, but in the meantime I think realistically I have to put like maybe 90% of what I thought I was going to try to do this year. It's just going to have to go on the back burner. I'm going to think about it over the next few days about whether I bother carrying on this year at all in terms of vlogging with you guys or any of those things, or whether I just have to say, do you know what, for the next 6 months I'm going to have to disappear and sort her out and then I'll come back to it. I don't know at the moment. I'm really, really tired and it's not the best time to make decisions, but we'll see. So I'm going to keep my pecker up, enjoy my Smith's mug with a nice bit of chamomile tea. Yeah, just try and stay positive. So when all the niggling doubts, when all that kind of shall I, shan't I, shall I, just keep saying to myself, there's a season, there's a reason. So for now, I'm going to say cheerio until I don't know when. I have kind of made a few plans for next week in the garden. I don't know if they'll come off because I just don't know what my timing will be like with her. So let's keep fingers crossed. Let's stay positive. Let's say we can do this. This can happen. We'll keep going. But in the meantime, we'll say we're going to have some happy thoughts. We'll have some happy gardening time, hopefully. And generally, we just somehow stay happy. So I'll say cheerio for now. And I hope I see you all really soon. Take care.